What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are coming at you with the 5 takeaways of what we just learned from the game between Canada and Panama. We crushed it. We won 4-1. So hopefully you guys are excited for these 5 takeaways. Be sure to drop a like on the video if you guys are new around here. Drop a sub as well, and let's get into the video now. Alright, guys. So we just had a fantastic watch along in which we watched Canada absolutely run over Panama, but the scoreline probably didn't show, well, I guess in a way did and didn't really show the complexion of the match, because Canada came out somewhat strong, but immediately got hit on a counter and went down very fast, very quickly, and kind of made everything a little bit nervous. We had a very good spell in the first half, got our goal back, and then Panama had a very good half, little end of the half. Went into the second half, we had a very strong start, followed by honestly, a very long stretch of play from Panama, one of the best I've seen them play in the match. And then out of nowhere, the big boys wake up and we get 3, and it somewhat looks like an easy scoreline. But let's break down the takeaways. Let's start with my very first takeaway. And my very first takeaway is Alphonso Davies. And I had to say he's a GOAT because, you know, that's what the chat suggested. But he is. This man, and again, I stated, I don't know if it's factual or not, but my suggestion is why we played in this 3-5-2 was to get Davies up front as a striker, is because you tend to run less as a striker than you do when you're playing as a midfielder, specifically as a wingback, which is where Davies would have probably slotted in at the left wingback. So what did we see? We saw him up front along with Jonathan David, where he could basically time when he wanted to sprint and could rest his legs. That's a theory. I don't know if it's true, but regardless, he looked incredible up front. He got the best out of Jonathan David. Jonathan David had a couple sitters that, you know, I'll get to. But Alphonso Davies was all over the pitch. He floated around. When you're that good, when you're that intelligent of a player, when you just have that much raw talent when he does in the Concacaf, he's able to do that. He's able to basically just kind of float under Jonathan David. He did line up a lot of the times on the right-hand side so he could cut onto his left, but you saw him over the pitch, dropping in, taking on players. He took on 4 players and then still found a way to get Jonathan David through on goal. He just did everything this game. And then, of course, the goal he scored, which was, I mean, you hear coaches tell you this when you're like in and I'm going to say Timbits because you guys know what I'm talking about. Timbits soccer. Never give up on the play. And that's a fact. This ball was no reason whatsoever Alphonso Davies should have got it. He was a mile. I almost stopped looking off because I assumed it was going to go out for a throw-in. And I just saw this man come out absolutely nowhere. Gets it down, finds a way to keep the ball in play, goes in, walks around the defender like he's not even there, and then a composed finish. And then after that, the game was pretty much over. But Alphonso Davies is a special player, and us Canadians are very, very lucky we have him because he's dragging us right now to Qatar, and you got to give the GOAT of Canada right now a lot of credit. Now let's move on to my second takeaway. My second takeaway is going to be his partner in crime, and it is going to be Jonathan David. He broke the duck. Now, I don't think this was still the best performance from Jonathan David. I thought there were times where he was good. He missed, in my eyes, 2 huge opportunities he should put the back in the net, specifically the first one. Davies did all that work, put you through on goal, and he ended up putting it back to where a bunch of Panama bodies were. You're a goal scorer. You're a finisher. Put it in. You have the opportunity. Second one, I could see it was a nice save. The ball was standing still. He hit it with his left. It was a good save. But what he did do a little bit, what I liked, is I've been calling for him to get involved a little bit more, because I find that he tends to lose himself in matches where he just doesn't find the involvement. And I saw him and led up to one of the goals where he dropped in, he made the pass, he picked it up, and it was just a lot better for Buchanan's goal to drop in, find the ball, take a look around, put a nice little ball into Richie Larea, which was then crossed in for Buchanan to put in. All that because Jonathan David had the awareness to realize that this is his space, and he took it and led to a goal. Because a lot of times he relies on others sometimes to do that. He looks for runs and he just doesn't stand engaged. So I like that little bit he did to his game. And then of course he broke his duck. He got a goal. Now, was it the nicest finish you'll ever see? No, but sometimes you got to get one. You had his opportunities. This one came to you. Kind of looked like he scuffed it, but he scuffed it perfectly where it went into the bottom corner. So Jonathan David had a much better game. I think Alphonso Davies playing alongside him really helped. And I was genuinely pretty happy with David, but it wasn't exceptional, but it was good enough, obviously, and those two complement each other quite well. My third takeaway, guys, is Taishan Buchanan. The 3 big guys up front, especially when they moved to that 3-4-3, and you had Buchanan, David, Davies. It was beautiful. But Buchanan was a monster tonight. And because, like I said, Davies had to go up front and maybe rest a little bit of his legs, a lot of the running came down to Taishan Buchanan. Now, he didn't play last match. He was suspended through yellow cards and he came in here refreshed, rejuvenated, and was incredible. He was so good. That pace is so important, and I think we missed that a lot against Jamaica when we had Liam Miller in there. And this man was doing it defensively. He was doing it on the attack. He played as a right wing back. He got pushed up the field a little bit later as a right winger. And then, of course, doing what he did, being intelligent, finding space, and then going in and scoring a very composed, nice little header from a beautiful ball from Richie Laryea, who, again, I think Richie Laryea and Buchanan benefited each other being able to play when they were on the same side, when they switched up the shape there. And it was really good to see Taishan Buchanan, who I think had a couple bumps to his game. I mean, when Taishan Buchanan broke on the scene, all we could do was praise him. But there was a couple times recently where his performances weren't quite there, and this is exactly what he needed, and I thought he had an excellent game all around today. My fourth takeaway, guys, is that the depth played in. And that's something I'm going to talk about. I'm very curious to see if this kind of trend continues. We talked about the 2 draws we picked up the last window going into El Salvador. When I talk about depth, you're going to look at Mexico, US, Canada. You guys know that. That's exactly where the depth is from because they have that luxury. Some of the other nations they simply don't, and it is what it is. And the third match of the window, you're going to see some of that depth come through, and we saw it against El Salvador. Tired minds, tired brains. And I didn't think we were going to see it here in Panama because, like I said, in the first half, we had a really good stay in possession, followed by Panama towards the end. And then in the second half, we started out once again very strong, and then Panama looked like they were taking the match to us. And I don't know what happened, but the depth came through, the quality came through, and having different options and John Herdman being able to switch up the shape was spectacular, and it really helped us obviously punch those 3 late ones to get a comfortable win. So depth will always play especially a role in that final match, in that third game, and we're going to have to see if this comes on, because I'm curious to see if playing one of these teams with lack of depth when it comes to third matches, if they're just going to continually struggle, because that's the trend I'm kind of seeing so far. And then, guys, my fifth and final takeaway is we abided by the Concacaf qualifying rule, and that is you have to win your home matches and steal points on the road. Guys, this roundup is exactly what we did this window. We won our home match and we took points both times on the road. We're sitting on 10 points, 2 wins, 4 draws, sitting in third place, and again in a very good position to qualify for Qatar 2022. And by doing that, I mean, Herdman, you got to give him a lot of credit. I think the boys having the mentality to come back from going down early, finding way back, and just continuously peppering the Panama defenders with opportunities. And then again, that quality comes through. Even a little strategic shifts sitting in there, going from that 3-5-2 to the 3-4-3. Like I said, Buchanan and Laryea came good. A lot of it goes to John Herdman. Everyone fired up. It was great seeing BMO Field completely packed, fired right up. It was just a great match all around. I was very nervous because I didn't want to really say it, but I truthfully believed that these 3 points were vital to us qualifying. And guess what, guys? We got them. So, guys, let me know if you guys agree with my 5 takeaways. If you have any other takeaways because there are a lot more you want to add, be sure to comment them down below. And if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like on the episode. Be sure to drop a sub as well. We're getting very close to 6,000 subscribers. Appreciate everyone who tuned in the watch along and on the video. Thank you, guys. Go Canada, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers, friends.